just the team in general, the 2-0 start. How's the week of practice been, and how's everyone keeping a level head amid the recent success?
Yeah, by creating a new set of chaos in training, right? Just to kind of forget what's going on, and we don't want to feel too comfortable and be sort of satisfied, right? So I think we've created a lot of internal competition with the group now, and there's a lot of minutes for a lot of individuals, and we keep guys fit and healthy, and we're training with 23 players every single day. And obviously, we have to have now some guys, not making rosters, where everyone kind of deserves to be on the roster, because the guys are keeping positive spirits, keep pushing each other, and training sessions are edgy, they're chippy, because the guys want to be part of everything what we're doing, so they want to travel, right? So it's been fun, but it's also been frustrating for a lot of the week, which is a good thing, just to keep that sense of level-headedness and sense of competition.
And just thoughts about Portland and your first venture onto artificial turf.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys, obviously from Europe, have never been on the turf before, never played like pro games maybe on a turf field. So it's important for them to get a feel, and we have a turf of our own here, to get guys comfortable and get used to the pitch. But I think that's the least of our problem. I think we know what's awaiting us there, right? We know they're one of the best fan bases in the MLS. We know the atmosphere is one of the best in the MLS, and we know the competitiveness of Gio Savaresi's teams. We've definitely followed that through the years, and there's no reason, why they shouldn't be competitive again this year. They came back against a very good LAFC team, brought it back to 3-2, so scored with their weapons in the transition, and we expect nothing less than their best on the weekend.
Santi?
Bradley, have you guys trained on the turf here or not yet?
We will train tomorrow on the turf, and just to get a feel. Like I said, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is getting us prepared mentally for what's going to come our way.
And after all the emotions and preparation for the first two games, is this now back to regular business for you guys?
Yeah, I think so, right? So, I mean, the drive is with us, to play almost angry every time. So we want to, even although we've had positive results, and but things, we look critically at ourselves, and we know things haven't been perfect. We know that we can do better in many moments in both the games that we've played, and that's what drives us every single day. And we know that the road won't get any easier, because now we've set a stamp after 2 games, and after 2 games you've won nothing yet, and we can still finish down the Western Conference table. So we have to treat each game, each half, each minute like the very first that we went out in preseason. So, and I think that's what this group is accustomed to doing now. We've kind of programmed them in a way to operate and to be relentless and fearless. And I don't think we should take our foot off the gas pedal anytime soon.
Coach, do you think have you felt an advantage of kind of maybe being an unknown for some of the teams you played already so far, and they don't know what to expect from you, and you just come out?
Yeah, it's funny, because the analysts through the MLS are all sharing, all the preseason games with everybody. So I have no doubt that Gio and his crew have seen our games and expected any less from us. He knows how we've played before, prior to my previous workstations or here in the MLS. So he knows what, kind of soccer is to be expected. And I think he'll game plan accordingly. So yeah, we're very excited about playing against a very good Portland team.
Klaus is a guy that fans have already fallen in love with quite a bit. Just what kind of energy, physicality has he brought to this squad?
Yeah, I think the fans aren't the only one, right? I think everyone in this building feels the same about what the fans are feeling, right? So Klaus is a very passionate individual, and he's a very proudful individual as well. So anything you throw at him, anything you challenge him with, anything he creates a lot of good moments in training, and he demands a lot. He demands service. He makes the runs, and he works hard off the ball. So right now, we're seeing the best versions, or one of the best versions of Klaus, and he's only getting stronger because he feels comfortable here in St. Louis. He feels excited about playing, whether it's home or away. He's excited about the chip on our shoulders, and I think that's what he feeds off of, and we need to feed him the ball.
Speaking of Klaus, were you worried after Edu scored the penalty when Klaus jumped up on his shoulders? I mean, that's a big dude.
Yeah, I think you've seen Leuven, right? He's this wide as well,
Okay,
right? He's got
all
big,
right.
broad shoulders. I think he can take Klaus on his shoulders any day of the week. So, yeah, no, we're not too worried about
Okay.
that.
All right.
Which means we're scoring, right?
Amen. And for the European players, are trips like this to Portland, these long trips, is that a big adjustment?
Well, that's why we're going to preseason. That's why we chose California as a venue, right? So we knew the similar time to fly. We knew the time difference, right? So I think it's very good for us to have these experiences under the belt. And many of these guys, you know, we flew to Vancouver, we flew to Portland last year with MLS Next Pro. So most of these guys have had these experiences, including Roman. You know, so most of these guys are feeling ready and tuned for what's coming their way with the trip.
Coach, what have you learned about your team? All the practices, all that, until you start playing games, you don't necessarily know what you have. Have you learned some things about your team after 2 games?
Well, I think it's easy speaking about a lot of things to be relentless and fearless and just never quit and don't give up, right? So this is the type of thing that, you know, you always look for, you know, in terms of whoever's been around you, whether it's Lutz, myself, you know, just the kind of frantic, chaotic game that we're trying to control with our principles. To see it now, you know, come full course, and after 2 games, we have a pretty good snapshot and a sample size of what we're doing. But the fearlessness and the relentlessness to come back in moments of adversity. So when our back's against the wall, you know, we could have folded, you know, go a goal down at home. Sometimes that just weighs in too much on a group, right? So for us to now, you know, in Austin, go 2-1 down and come back. Now we go 1-0 down and come back again. So, you know, sometimes you just create your own luck, you create your own momentum, and you create character this way. So whether it's been in training methods, whether it's been just a group, you know, we've handpicked a lot of these individuals, and we know their character traits, and we know their qualities on the ball. So we feel we have a good group with us, a good, humble, hardworking, honest group.
Coach, you mentioned the atmosphere in Portland. How do you prepare your team in practice for that deafening atmosphere on Saturday night?
Yeah, I think there's many methods and many ways, but just the inherent nature of the way we play, right? So Portland will play the way they play. We want to play the way we play. So we want to try and control the controllables and dictate the game according to those principles. And I think for us, whether we play in Portland, LAFC, Galaxy, you know, wherever we travel out west, we feel we can be adequate, sort of prepared for these ones, you know.
Was Blom out there today?
No, so Blom arrived. He had a couple of little bit of congestion, nasal passages were all, you know, so we rather just sent him away, and we hope to see him tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. And injury-wise, Gio's back out there today. Is everybody who was in doubt?
Yeah. For the most part. I mean, obviously 2 games, guys get a couple of knocks in here and there, but yeah, we've regen pretty well, and we've periodized the week pretty well, and we went very hard Tuesday, Wednesday, taper it down today a little bit, and tomorrow we do some tactical stuff, and off we go.
Have the numbers, the analytics shown what you wanted to see, the pressure stats and things like that?
Yeah, I think for the most part, you know, I don't want to get too much into it, but I think, you know, we've won the highest amount of turnovers in the opponent's half with Seattle. I think Seattle and us share that. I think we're the highest tackles in the league. You know, we've intercepted the most dribblers in the league. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of stats that we've seen that where we, you know, number 1 in the league. I think our expected goals are in the top 4. Goals conceded, expected, I think middle of the table. So yeah, I think you know, we've created a lot of positive waves within us, and we've created a lot of confidence. But you know, we just want to move on to the next game and win the next half, the next 45 minutes, the next moment, you know, and that's how we're approaching each and every one. And, you know, we'll reassess after 5-6 games to see how it looked over that time frame.
And are a lot of the things like you talk about, you know, adjustments you need to make, or whether it's defensive issues, is a lot of that just the team still getting to know each other?
No, I think the team's flexible and adaptable, right? So moments of opposition, you know, Charlotte through the game in the first half posed us 1 or 2 problems, and we were able, and this group's tactically adaptable and flexible enough to absorb new information, right? So, which gives me great hope in terms of manipulating and influencing games during the game itself. So that's part of the game management, and this group's taken on really big steps in preseason and obviously during games now to manipulate and create new momentum for us. And I think we have the pieces in place to exploit the opponent with little flexible nuances in our tactics.
Got time for one or two more if anyone else has any. Go ahead, Phil.
You're going up against a team that seems to have no qualms with being kind of a defensive, compact team. Seems like a different challenge than what you've seen so far. Is that something that will be more challenging for you?
Yeah, 100%, right? So they're really good. They get back behind the ball, defend nice and compact, and really deep. They're number one in the league for defensive third tackles, right? So in the defensive third, like really making it difficult for the opponent. So for me, it's all about this game. They're very good in transition. We're very good in transition. So it's going to be the battle of transitions, whether we pick it up higher or deeper, whether they pick it up really deep, and how do we now prepare and plan for that. So I think it's just going to be a battle of the transitions. So we can talk about possession and percentages and all that stuff. I think this game will be won and lost in a transition.
Is it okay? One more?
One more, yep.
We saw Joe Keeney, and I heard you say in one of the quotes that it was more of a defensive look, having two strikers up top. And is there anything that goes into away matches versus home matches when it comes to your formation?
You're saying us more defensive oriented with two strikers?
I thought I read a quote from you. Maybe you can clear that up.
No.
How do you look at those two formations?
No, I
in
think
home and away?
if you play with two strikers, for me, it means a lot more pressure going the other way.
That's why I asked, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Gio's back and fit and healthy. He's had a really good training session today. So he becomes now a question mark whether we do the two strikers or play with one striker with Klaus. So, yeah, we've got a lot of guys competing for positions. We've got a lot of guys competing for minutes. And we'll come up with a good game plan to make sure we control our chaos in Portland.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Jared.
Thank you very much.
What's the feeling now within this team at 2-0 after this started? How excited or how much do you have to downplay that because it's only 2 games?
I mean, we have a lot of players who've been in a lot of leagues and have a lot of experience, and I've had good seasons to start that don't always end up well. So, and seasons where we start off good and the season well. So, it's just 2 games. As I always say to you guys, it's like every week we see is a playoff game for us. We want to just win the week, win the game we have on Saturday. That's all we can focus on. Of course, we take some momentum and we're happy with it, but we're never satisfied because we always have another game coming that we want to win until we get to the final, hopefully.
So it's been encouraging, or you talk about momentum. Is it the feeling within this team of competitiveness with the rest of the league?
Yeah. I mean, it's good momentum. It gives us good confidence, right? It's better than losing to. We're happy about it, obviously. After the game, I mean, Brad does a good job. Like we were happy about it. We take the win in, we learn, and then then after 2 days of training, right, it's back to the drawing board and trying to figure out how we can win again. And that's how this league works, and that's how we operate as a team, and that's what's helped us the first 2 weeks, and that's how we have to move forward for the next 30 odd games. So.
Talk about the atmosphere in Portland. I mean, there's a guy with a chainsaw. What's it like in Portland?
Yeah, it's a cool place to play. It's a cool place. I mean, I don't know. It's weird as a player. It's like it feels like the stands are like dark, but you just know that there's like 30,000 of them back there. It's a cool place to play, but obviously we just want to get 3 points, and similar to Austin, right? It's a good crowd, but we can't let that deter us from what we want to do on the field. So,
Santi.
Jared, you have played against Portland before. Can you talk a little bit about their style of play and what to expect?
Yeah. I mean, we've had some good games against them, beating them pretty bad, and then I've been on the other side as well. They're a team that plays in transition, and if you're not tidy on the day and you're not focused in the reactions and the way that the ball turns around, I mean, they can get forward, but after 5-6 seconds, they're getting a shot off on your goal. So we have to be focused, ready for transition. Brad's prepared us well. We know how we want to play, and we want to focus on ourselves, but at the same time, I think we've been notified on how they play, and of course, after playing them, I've seen how good it can be, and how much you can punish them with the ball. But then, obviously, when the ball turns over, we have to be focused.
People talk about the crowd and being rowdy. I wonder in soccer, does the crowd noise matter to you? I mean, the more rowdy and loud that it is, does it feel any different to you? I mean, like in college basketball, it's hard to be on the road, but I would think Do you like that atmosphere, whether you're home or away?
I mean, me personally, at home, I feel a different momentum last week, right? Every time you make a good play, there's just everyone's behind you, right? Or you feel riled up. And obviously, when you're the away team and you make a good play, there's nothing, right? They're booing you. Anytime they get a shot, it's a huge crowd roar, right? But yeah, I mean, after playing for a number of years and playing in Austin and playing here now, it's for me, it's just kind of white noise. And I always show up and want to play a certain way and try not to let the crowd dictate me either way. But yeah, for the home team, I think it gives a slight advantage. But for us, we did great in Austin, and we have to do the same thing coming into Portland.
I know you're focused to playing against Portland, but can you just describe how the past 2 weeks with the win in Austin and the atmosphere and the win in this stadium, how it all felt for you?
Yeah, I mean, the Austin game was emotional for me, right? Those are my old teammates. I was in 2 of those guys' weddings this offseason. It's weird, right? But at the same time, we have like one of the greatest, victories for this club, right? The first game, the first win. It was really emotional for me. But yeah, after settling down and taking it in, I'm super excited. I mean, the win felt really good, and then to come home and win the way we did as well was just, we just feel a little bit off our back that we could give the fans what they deserve here and the city what they deserve. And but yeah, it's been a cool 2 weeks. When I look back on it, I'm very proud and happy, and the city was awesome, excited honestly for the next 16 home games. And we have a great team here, something really special, and so just excites me for what we have for the rest of the season.
The team approach, the club approach, is to make the other team uncomfortable. There's ebbs and flows within the match, but in the first 2 regular season matches, do you get a sense that the team is making the other team uncomfortable?
Yeah, I mean, you can just tell with the way we play. Every team I've been on, there's ebbs and flows of the game, right? Where they have control, we have control, and I think that always happens in MLS games. But the more that we can break up their control of the game, and the more we can disrupt what they're trying to do, it makes it easier for us. It gives them less momentum, and and then when we gain our momentum, we seem to run with it, which is awesome. But no, we just got to keep working on that and move forward and get better at controlling more parts of the game. And we've definitely created some chaos around the league, but we want to do more of that going forward.
Similar question, you don't shy away from a scrap in a game, and I'm just curious, our St. Louis handled that differently than Charlotte in the last game, and how does the club approach it, or personally, how do you approach that kind of situation?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. When I'm going up against someone, obviously I want to put it on my terms. I want to dictate the play, and if they're talking to me off the field or in around, the game, or they take a jab at one of my teammates, I'm not going to let them go unscathed, right? It's, out there, it's a fight. None of these games are easy. They're physical, they're combative. If someone steps across the line and they're trying to beat me, I mean, I'll put a shoulder in, I'll put a tackle in, and protect my teammates or do whatever I have to do. But that's also part of the way we play, is it's aggressive. There's a lot of tackles. I can get stuck in even though I'm an attacker and do what I have to do. But I mean, it also gets the crowd into it, and sometimes, it, as I said, with the ebbs and flows of the game, sometimes that gives you a bit of momentum, wakes the team up, a little bit of scrap.
Can you guys feel, this maybe is a strange question, but can you feel the confidence which you are displaying? Watching you guys, okay, 2 games, right? But still, it's like you're playing the way Lutz has been talking since he got here, and Brad has been talking since he got here. That's how you guys are playing. It's not hard to see at all. Can you feel that?
Yeah, you can feel it. I mean, it starts with Brad and Lutz, and they've implemented a style and a confidence within the team. And as soon as we got into preseason, we realized the caliber of players that we had, and we could feel something special. They've handpicked all of us, and we know that. And great, gives us great confidence winning these 2 games. Anytime we're out there making big plays and connecting good passes and getting shots off, we keep gaining more momentum. And yeah, Brad's great with that. It's all about momentum, playing the way we play, and continuing on even when it's not perfect.
Good time for one or two more, Tom.
Think about the value of your defense on the back line, the outside backs. Think about John Nelson on your goal in Austin. He's pressuring Keller, and he makes the back pass. He has the cross for the handball. Nowinski plays the ball in the box for the own goal. What's the value for you as a midfielder in that role to have attacking, backline guys like that?
Yeah, it's good. It just as an attacking player, it just gives you confidence when your defenders are aggressive and they're winning tackles behind you. Because if they're missing them, obviously, then you have to run back more. You lose a little bit of confidence. But yeah, I mean, Johnny plays behind me most of the time. Yeah, it's great that I know that when I press and the ball goes beyond me, I know he's probably going to be winning a tackle. And yeah, we talk a lot, we communicate a lot on the field, and yeah, getting him crosses off and helping him defensively is part of my responsibility too. So yeah, we always go out there and we try and control that left side. And yeah, Jake's been awesome too. The whole back line's been great. Super aggressive, great with the ball. It just gives you confidence as an attacker that you can go forward a little bit more. You can pressure a little bit more, knowing that behind you you have that trust with your outside back that they're coming and they'll win the ball if you press well. Yeah, it's good.
Anything different about playing on artificial turf in Portland?
Not too different. We'll train tomorrow on turf, I think, and then and see how it goes. But all of us growing up have played on turf, and shouldn't be anything too crazy. Yeah.
And just defensively, how do you think the group is working with what they want to have done, and how is the team adapting into that?
I think great. Yeah, I mean, Brad lays it out for us, and he's really organized, and it just makes it easy for the team to follow his patterns and do what we're told. And yeah, we have a lot of guys who are on board, right? You're not always on a team where you have 11 guys plus everyone else, all the subs as well. You guys can't see that every week. Buying in, not complaining, not having an ego and saying, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Everyone seems very locked in, and you don't always come across teams like that. And so that's what's special too, is that Brad has, good players who are buying into his format, and it looks really organized because of it. So we just want guys to keep buying in, keep learning, keep getting better, and it looks good every week. And maybe sometimes we won't be perfect, but yeah, the more we get that process, the better the team will do.
Thanks, Jared.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Austin, which was the first game for the club, and then the home opener. Is this kind of a more normal week almost? Is back, the hubbub of those first two games? Is it past you now?
It's past me. Yeah, I think a few days after the Austin game, and even this past weekend, everyone was buzzing from it a bit. Super happy. But I think Brad has done a really good job. After we watch the film of the games, and then we come back. We come back down, then we push our focus to the next game. This week we had a really good intense training. Guys, they want to be on that roster, like you said earlier. The trainings are intense. Everyone wants it. We're not complacent at all. So, yeah.
So you're 2-0, but you're not thinking about the fact that you're 2-0?
No, I think Brad even asked us earlier. He's like, "Are we a 2-0 team?" It was kind of a trick question. Yes, but no one's satisfied. We're not complacent at all. Like I said, training has been intense. There's duels, there's battles. It's getting chippy. Because we want to be a team that's 3-0. The start of season 3-0. I've never been a part of a team like that. And a lot of people are saying, "Oh, they're getting lucky with this and that." But we're a team that wants to prove the whole league wrong. So.
Do you feel you've been lucky in those first two games?
It's interesting. You see on social media and Twitter with, the back passes to Stroud and Klaus. But honestly, no, we're not lucky. With how much we're creating, how much we're pressuring the other team, in their face the whole game, something's going to give. So, honestly, I think we earned it. No, I don't think it's lucky. No.
So the pressure, like we talked about your pressure on Kip Keller, which leads to the back pass. So things like that, that's one of the byproducts of the pressure you bring, is that it forces teams.
Of course, yeah. The whole game, in their face, something's gonna give. Some people can call it luck, but with us, no. With our press, with how good we're doing with it, constantly in their face, no. I think we deserve those goals. Yeah.
Thank you.
Besides Tom.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go Phil and then Martin.
I look at the amount of running you and Jake do in a game, and it seems like you're one of the. You got a lot to do, right, as far as covering ground in a game, and it's a long season. It's going to get pretty hot here. How do you guys approach the rest of the season as far as fitness?
Yeah, no, it's funny. The outside backs, we do a lot of the dirty work. I think we might not always get the credit, with Jake putting in a good ball, creating our first goal. And then with me linking in with Stroud and making the 50-yard run down and making a nice move and, forcing a handball in their box. It is a lot of the dirty work. We might not get all the credit. But yeah, I think we have a lot of depth though. So, later in the season, hopefully things are still going well and we need to rotate the lineup a bit. I think Brad and the group is confident with whatever group we put out there. If we need rest a bit, obviously it is a long season, a lot of games, and especially here, it gets pretty hot, pretty humid. So, yeah.
I think Coach used the word marked team, like because the good start, the league's talking about you. Do you feel you'll get a little bit different now from every team? They know about you, but also the fact you guys have had success, does it raise the target on your back a little bit?
Yeah, I think a little. Teams might not really have known about us coming into the season. We were kind of a wild card. And I think everyone just kind of wrote us off as that expansion team. They're only going to win a few games. But I think, going into Austin, beating them 3-2 is a statement. And then coming here, beating Charlotte 3-1. I think teams are awake now. They're like, okay, yeah, this team can play. This team's, this team's ready to go. So I'd say maybe a little. I think teams aren't going to take us lightly now because we've proved them wrong. So.
Piggybacking from that last question, how much of a statement will it be for this team and franchise if you guys get the win in Portland?
Yeah, I think it'd be a huge statement to go into very tough environments and to be 3-0. Like I said, going into Austin is one of the hardest places to go. Not a lot of teams go in there and win, especially last year, and even coming from a goal down. That's pretty tough to do. If we can go in to Portland and beat them and to be 3-0, like I just said, I think the whole league is going to be like, all right, like these guys are here. They're legit. They're real contenders for the playoffs. Yeah.
You guys feel, I'm not going to say, it strikes me as you don't feel invincible, but you feel like it's going to take a hell of a lot to beat you, right? I mean, the confidence, it's just visible.
Yeah.
How did it feel to come out on the fields here Saturday night? What did it do to those feelings you guys already obviously have?
Yeah. It was an awesome experience playing in front of this crowd, playing in front of this city. I think what Brad and Lutz have said, when teams come here, it's gonna be a really tough place to play. Teams don't want to play us, especially when we play at home. We're gonna be in their face the whole game, pressuring them. Yeah.
Johnny, thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.